This track is from an interview that I, along with my co-host Holly, did with KRS-One and his wife Simone G. Parker. And there are a couple of things that stand out. Number one is the image that we see of KRS-One portrayed in the media a lot of times is not one of positivity, but as you'll see here, he is totally the opposite of what we see. And secondly, and this is a lesson that a lot of the hip-hop artists today, or rappers I should say today, can take a lesson from, and that's simply the respect and admiration that he has for his wife Simone, because we see too many times in the media where the rappers are, well, you've seen it. I don't need to go into a whole lot of detail, but they should take a note from one of the originators of hip-hop himself. My interview with Simone G. Parker and KRS-One. Today, the Louie Jones Show is literally the center of the hip-hop universe. We have two very special guests. One is the acronologist, Simone Parker. And you wonder, what is an acronologist? Well, we're going to explain that to you today. We're going to really get into it. And our next guest, or actually they will be on at the same time, is none other than the teacher, the originator, one of the originators of hip-hop, Mr. KRS-One.
Hey.
All right. How's everybody?
Hey, we're good, man. What a great introduction.
Well, I hope I got it right. I wanted, with something like this. And we're going to talk a lot more because a lot of people get hip-hop and rap confused, and we want to let them know that there definitely is a difference. And
are you there, Simone?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here now. I'm sorry. How are you guys doing today?
We are fantastic.
We're fantastic. And I mentioned earlier that you are an acronologist. Can you tell us, before we start, what is an acronologist?
Well, an acronologist is someone who finds hidden meanings in words, and that's what I've done with the book I've titled Acronology, which is part of Shower the Spirit, and Identifying Your Faith is the book, which focuses on faith, and it has faith acronyms in it, and it's just to find the hidden meanings in words. That's what an acronologist is.
Now, is that a term that you can pretty much say that you are the originator of?
Yes, yes.
How does one come up with the acronyms that you do, Simone?
Well, it's for me, it was like an endowment. It happened about 5 years ago. I just started having visions and seeing words and creating new meanings to them, like deeper meanings, or even explaining them in a simpler way than the dictionary. And it started, like I said, about 5 or 6 years ago, and we have a full glossary of, most commonly used words that are just there to empower you, make declarations, affirmations, and, compliment your faith, basically.
So, Simone, when did you realize that these messages were more than just acronyms, that they had more, almost a life journey for you?
Well, actually, I was having two children back to back. Actually, I had a boy and a girl back to back, 99, and then in 98, I'm sorry, and then in 2000. And between that time, I think that I was just going through, changes with the pregnancies and so forth and so on, and reading and watching videos and going to different church services. And as I started to travel with my husband during some of the time after I had the children, I just started seeing these words, as I said, that were like hidden meanings, like spirit, something pressing inside, revealing its truth, or hope, having opportunity presented everywhere. And they just became one with me, and they became, affirmations, declarations, and part of my daily life. So they just began to empower me, and then I began to share.
And you know what came to me, and this is a little deep, but the oneness that you share with your husband, in some way subconsciously, could have stemmed from your acronology. You know what I'm saying? Because words are so important to your husband.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true.
So there's a real deep connection, and somehow I think it just kind of birthed into its own, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And it actually did with two children back to back. It just yes, ma'am. And sir.
All right. And Brother KRS-One, how's it going?
I am chilling. What's going on, man?
Oh, we're having a ball. And, for the listeners, I was telling everyone who was going to be on today, and I got all these questions that they wanted me to ask. But you know what? Here's what it's about today. We don't want to start any beefs. This isn't about the Louie Jones show is not about that. It's about so it's about teaching people the power of a dream. When you really go for what's in you, what can happen? And in fact, we were just listening to one of your pieces here called Dream. And we all have a dream inside of us. And between yourself and Simone, there's so much that you have to teach. But because of the media or what have you, it just doesn't get out. And that's really, really frustrating.
Well, it's funny, just listening to Simone and yourselves just speak just now. Simone is being very modest right now. I must say, my wife kind of overdoes the humility. To really explain what I've been doing is to really explain what she's been doing, because most of what I do is done by her. Simone is the manager for, I can't even say managers, and anyone who manages knows that the word management is like an everything hat.
Right.
You're security, you're the accountant, you're the secretary, you're everything. And with that comes a lot of power and responsibility within the field that you work in. So Simone, for the past 20 years, has been a phenomenal force in the hip-hop community. Now, what you see on television is a lie. We know that. The devil is a liar. And you should never get your information, even the news, from television. The best thing is eyewitness accounts, meaning when it comes to hip-hop, come to the live show of someone you really respect, and you'll really see what hip-hop is all about. But to rely upon a money-making institution like MTV or BET or just Viacom or the record companies to interpret something that is deeper than just music, that's not going to happen. But the other part is that Simone, on the inside of the business, on the inside, the part that people don't get to see, Simone is empowering artists and managers everywhere she goes. And this is what I'm proud about as my wife, is that I work with thugs, straight up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we do.
I'm not even gonna pull any punches. We're in the streets for real. Mm-hmm. And I tell you this, one of my good friends, a guy named 50 Cent. Obviously, everybody probably know him.
Right.
But Simone does business with G Unit. And it's funny. Now, imagine G Unit means guerrilla unit. They all out of control. They wilding out. But now the DJ for G Unit is a guy named Who Kid. And Who Kid, who is 50 Cent's DJ's main guy, him and Simone talks often. And guess what Simone told him? One day he was feeling down. He didn't know whether he was gonna make it next week. He told Simone, he said, "I'll call you back, but we going through some beef right now. I don't even know where I'll be next week." And Simone sent him back an acronym for G Unit, G-U-N-I-T. She said, "Take this with you. Guide us not into temptation." And she said, if you can say that to yourself, guide us not into temptation, that's G-U-N-I-T, G Unit, you'll be protected next week. Sure enough, the brother took it into his heart. And next week, he was chilling. Whatever the beef was went away. He said, I wasn't tempted. The temptation, the idea of not being able to control yourself is what the problem is really with the world. But hip-hop is facing it really in an extreme way, because if you never had anything in your life and suddenly you can rap, and your rap brings you, like, imagine you had $20, now you have $20,000.
Right.
Like, overnight, and you don't know what to do. There's no business advisors. There's not even a minister. Let me just keep it real with you. There's not even really a church you could go to that'll tell you what to do with your money with God. How money is not evil. The love of money is evil. Money's not evil. Money's an energy.